Greetings, Engineer Liu here. So let's continue our tutorial on MATLAB. On the last tutorial we've seen a little bit of vectors, so in order to recall some concepts, here we have, let's say we have this vector here v1, which will be equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we have, let's say, vector v2, and here 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's say we want to access the first member of this vector. So here is how we access. We type v1 and here inside we have 1. So this value will be 1. Let's say we want to address the first member of v2 and again, or so let's say the second member, and of course it is 5. So we want to add the first member of v1 plus the second member, or let's say the third member of v2, and it will be v in parentheses 1 plus v2 in parentheses 3. Okay, so it will be 7, 1 plus 6. Okay, we can work with the transpose of these vectors, so it would be, let's say, v3 equals v1 transpose. Here we use the apostrophe, and okay, there we go. v3 is 1, it's v1 transpose, and we can do the same with the v2. Will be, let's say we call this vector v4 will be equal to v2 transpose. Okay, so using the same analogy we seen, using the same principle we seen on the last class, we can add v3 and v4, but we cannot add v3 than v1, for example. So the matrix dimensions must agree. So let's clear everything and clear our command window, CLC. Okay, so using the same principle when defining a vector, we can define a matrix. Let's say matrix A will be equal to 1, 2, and for the first row, and the second row will be 3, 4. Okay, so here's our matrix A. We want to access, let's say, member. I can multiply a matrix by 2, so let's say A will be equal to 2 plus A. So 2 plus A, 2 times A, sorry. So 2 times A will be replacing the matrix A, and then we have, okay, so the whole matrix was multiplied by 2, each of its members. We can do the same with vectors. Let's say we have vector v1 would be equal to 1, 2, 3, and v1 will be equal to 3 times v1. Okay, so here we have v1. Okay, in the same manner as in the matrix, multiply all of its members. And the same manner we did for vectors, we can access members of the matrix. So the first member, which will be on the first row on the first column, will be 2. Here we type A, we get the matrix. It's 2 here. Let's say we'll define a second matrix, like matrix B, which will be this matrix here, magic 2. We'll see what this is. So magic generates a random matrix based on the size that you give. So if you want to know more about a certain command in MATLAB, you can type help magic. Okay, so you can do this with any command in MATLAB. And here magic square, so magic n, here it's the input of this function in MATLAB, is n by n matrix construct from the integers 1 through n. square with equal row, column, and diagonal sums. Produces valid magic squares for all n greater than 0 except n equals 2. Okay. So we also have this command here, rand, which produces a random number between 0 and 1. So you keep typing it, we'll get random numbers which have approximately normal distribution, a Gaussian distribution. And if we type a rand2, we get a 2 by 2 matrix with random numbers, and we can type a 3 by 3 matrix, 3 rows and 3 columns, and so on. Okay, so let's clear this. So we've seen how to do the basic operations in MATLAB thus far. We've seen how to define vectors. We've seen how to clear the window, how to work with the matrix, and how to get to know more about the commands in MATLAB. So let's say help rand. We get this whole description of how to use a command. You can do this for any command in MATLAB. Also, we have the look for commands. So let's say you don't remember a certain command you use in MATLAB once, and you want to, or you don't know a certain command in MATLAB, and you want to know how to use it, or you want to know what it is named. So let's say look for random, and let's say what we get. And here MATLAB gives us a list of its function, which it has the word random. Here we got a random number stream, class, control the random number generated by using rand, randy, rand_n, random Jacobi rotation, and so on. You can see that the MATLAB command is still running. We can stop it at any time by pressing Ctrl and C. So you press down these two keys, and then it MATLAB stops the execution of this command. So let's clear here and clear. There we go. Now that we know matrix and the basics of vectors, matrix, and multiply, and the basic operations in MATLAB, we can start seeing the basic logical operations in MATLAB, such as the if command, if, else, the for, the while, which will be the subject or next class. Okay, see you next time. Bye.